Everybody, it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I am coming in today with another 5 fast cards using the White Rose Crafts December Festive Elegance subscription kit. I have decided this month to cheat a little and introduce some plain card stock in addition to my card frames from the kit. So this little pile of stuff you see here, I introduced from my personal stock. Everything else, for the most part, except for a couple of things listed on the top and these two dies, come from the kit. So you'll see the kit is filled with wonderful, fun goodies to make tons projects. This card was centered around the holidays, but it was done with non-traditional colors, so that way it was just a little bit different than maybe other things out there on the market right now. I am loving this pink and purple and turquoise palette that White Rose Crafts came up with for this card kit. For my first card, I decided to use an old sketch I found and layer some panels of paper over each other to create the background. And the fun thing is these printed papers are really kind of plain. I mean, they're not boring. They're just not, there's not a large variety of difference. But that kind of subtle plainness that they have, it's a bunch of repeating patterns in different colors, which means you can do something like this panel card and have 3 different shades of paper all with the same pattern, which I love. I think it was really fun. For the center of my card, I pulled out the ink that's included in the kit, this Scrapberry stain ink in purple, and stamped some of the snowflakes onto it from one of the 2 stamp sets in the kit. If you missed the unboxing for this kit, I will include a link to it so you can go see everything in it. I was trying to decide what to add as my sentiment. Do I add a banner, or I remembered I had stickers and I added the purple sticker to the card. I was feeling the card was a little plain still, so I pulled out some of the snowflake buttons that are included. I have new scissors, it's very exciting. They snip the back of the buttons off like butter. It was like no big deal. And I pulled out a couple of these woodware mounting pads and added the snowflakes, which are now very 3-dimensional and I love, to the card. You'll learn that I put that one in the wrong place, I decided, and had to pull it back up. And fortunately was able to. Yeah, see here, I've done wrong, and I've corrected everything. I still felt the card was a little lacking, so I pulled out the exclusive Sparkle Blend Sequin Mix for this kit. Doodle's Paper Playground comes up with an exclusive pack of sequins for every subscription kit at White Rose Crafts. And this month's is filled with pinks and turquoises and blues and purples, and it's really a very bold color palette, but yet works seamlessly with this subscription kit. So I added all the different sequins and loved the feeling of kind of like with the purple snowflakes and the snowflake buttons and the sequins, it just had this really nice snowflake feeling. And while it's not in any way, shape, or form a traditional color palette, it's very clearly a Christmas card to me. For card 2, I decided again to use another sketch I came across, and just my plethora of old sketches, and create a banner. Now you're going to realize I made a massive boo-boo right here. I was trying to figure out exactly how short to cut this this panel, so I pulled out a ruler, because you know, sometimes you need a ruler to cut things, and was able to adhere this panel of printed paper. Now the purple cardstock, that comes from my personal collection, but don't we all kind of own colored cardstock somewhere? So I figured it wasn't too big of a cheat. But I realized from the beginning I wanted to add this embossed snowflakes falling down the purple thing. I unfortunately adhered the purple paper prior to stamping and embossing the white embossing powder because I'm a numbskull and not very smart sometimes. So I'm using Post-it notes to keep the Versamart ink. Oh, and here again, I've messed up. I remembered I need to add my anti-static powder. If I don't, we're all in for it. But yeah, I'm a numbskull. So enjoy watching me having to mask everything off because I didn't think clearly about this. But I like showing that even if you make this mistake or after doing the initial card assembly and you were like, you know what, I really would like it, there are ways to go back in and stamp on a panel without having to start over. I do not like starting over on cards. I've said that time and time again. If I make a mistake, I figure out how to use the mistake. And thank goodness I added the static powder, because there was a lot of white ink or white embossing powder added to it. Now you got to watch me very slowly. I was not patient. I did not wait for my heat gun to heat up before I started blowing on it. So now we're all just going to very slowly watch me melt the embossing powder. It's kind of like watching paint dry, isn't it? Now, I knew I wanted one of these border stickers to go down the middle, and I'm wondering what I'm doing. I'm trying to decide exactly which one of these stickers to use to create a barrier between the two papers. And I ended up going with the white one, and what I didn't use went back on the sheet. And I love this sentiment inferior. I can never say that word. There's a 12 by 12 piece of paper with a whole bunch of clipped out cardstock pieces. Like if you trim them up, you've got a whole bunch of little banners like this. And I love this one that's, again, not a traditional color, but very much a Christmas sentiment. And I thought it worked perfectly with these two colors. No, there's not purple in the banner itself, but I thought it worked well. And again, the pink paper comes from my personal stock, but, you know, we all have cardstock laying around somewhere, right? We're crafters. Finally, I decided the card needed just a little bit more something. So I pulled out the Dovecraft crystal glitter glue that comes with it and added just a little dot to the center of that sticker. And there you go, card 2. For card 3, I again decided to go with a layering of paper. There isn't much coloring with the stamps on these in this kit, so it's a lot of paper piecing and layering, which is fun, especially with Christmas cards, because you end up making so many that if you hand colored everything, it'd be exhausting. So I layered some of the snowflake purple paper on top of some navy blue cardstock. Now, navy blue is actually not a color within the subscription kit, but I really thought it set off the colors in the kit very nicely. In the kit, you also get a piece of 8.5 by 11 glitter paper, and it is a very heavyweight, pretty glitter paper. When you move it, it has all kinds of iridescent colors, and I trimmed it up with a slight diagonal to go onto this card, maybe to look just a little bit like snow. And I love the idea of the sentiment being merry and bright with this glitter paper, because, you know, that paper is bright. After assembling the card, I realized stamping some snowflakes on it would actually look really nice. I pulled out some Faded Jeans Distress ink and badly stamped over an already assembled card again. But this card is super quick and it was super fun to make, and I think the end effect is just beautiful. For card 4, I wanted to do a little watercoloring. Yes, a little watercoloring, and I'm able to do that with the stamp set, or the stamp ink pad that comes with the card kit. But I started off with a piece of this luminance paper that has such a great reflective beautifulness to it. And then I pulled out the Scrapberry stain ink and put it onto my acrylic block, grabbed a water brush, and just started layering the purple color. This purple is incredibly bold and bright, but if you add water to it, it fades out a little bit, and some of the pink undertones that are actually in the purple come out, creating a really, really fun colored effect. I mean, seriously, it was just a little scrap of a watercolor paper and a couple of seconds of painting, and I have this beautiful ombre almost feeling ink blotch. When I did the unboxing, I pulled out these wood veneers, and just kind of in the showing them, kind of created a little Christmas tree. Like, if you shape them right, you make a little Christmas tree with them. And I knew from the moment I showed them in the unboxing that I was going to use every last one of these wood veneers and create a Christmas tree with them on a card. So here it is. Here is my wood veneer Christmas tree. I decided not to do any coloring on these shapes. I kind of went back and forth about like adding some teal green to them and making them tree colored. But in the end, I just wanted to leave them wood, and maybe not everybody sees a tree, but I look at the shape that I glued them down into and I see a tree. And it was a super easy card. I decided against adding a sentiment and just left it right there like that. So super easy watercolored, embellished tree card. I don't know. I think it's fun. Let me know if you think that it makes a tree. For my final card, I pulled out one of the 2 card frames that comes with the kit. I pulled out this hot pink textured card. It is a, I want to say 6x7 card. I might be slightly off in my measurements. I am off in my measurements. I just can't remember off the top of my head what they are. But I adhered a piece of the lace paper to the card. And then using a bit of this hot pink striped paper, I created a banner and added it to the card frame. I knew using this lace paper, I would want to keep things kind of simple because I wanted the lace paper to create its own kind of Victorian feel to the card, and I think it did, especially on this pink cardstock. After adding the banner, I knew I was going to use one of these pretty lacy bows again to continue with that Victorian feel I wanted. And I pulled out the pearlized adhesive rhinestones and pulled them up. Now, I will tell you, when you pull these up, be very delicate because they go in wonky swirls. You kind of have to be very cautious on how you peel them up, or you could accidentally rip them. But no, I took these scrapberry pearlized steels and just kind of let the pearlized buttons get adhered in perpendicular ways so that the button it looks like they're coming out of the bow. And that's it. I left the card this simple. I stamped a simple sentiment inside and called this card done. I like the Victorian feel and kind of old school look that it has. Thank you so much for peeking in today for the first part of this 3-part series of 5 fast cards. I hope you are looking forward to this kit as much as I'm enjoying playing with it. It goes officially on sale December 1st, but is available for pre-orders now. So make sure you pop over to White Rose Crafts and pre-orders yours today. They are limited quantities. Thanks for watching, and happy crafting, everybody.